This is the Juniata River, right here in Bedford. This is Fort Bedford, built in 1758 by the British. Okay, this is a stock, and this was used to punish people. And Greg's going to demonstrate. Your hands in your head, you couldn't really look up. Of course, it would be shackled, so you couldn't open it and walk away. And passerbys could come by and hurl insults and throw things at you. This is a close-up of the logs and the wattle in between. Here's the blockhouse, the stockade fence, and there's the flag that flew over here back in the 1750s and 60s. We're here in the squares of Bedford. You can see the gazebo behind me. This goes back to the original deeds. We're going to be walking around the square looking at some of the points of interest. Civil War Memorial. Some of the houses here have historical markers on them that tell when they were built. We'll also be looking at some of the different churches and other buildings. Very interesting architecture. Okay, this is the Civil War Memorial. It was built in 1890 and then restored again in 1995 to all the volunteers. July 4th, 1890. As I said, we are here in the squares. And colonial thinking dictated that there be squares around or inside the village or town. Usually it was the most important buildings that were around the square, and the town built up from there outward. This is Trinity Lutheran Church here in the squares. It was built in 1871, shortly after the Civil War. Here's something reminiscent of the bygone days. This is a hitching post. Tie the horse up here. The squares make a nice little park here today. Here's the memorial right here on the squares. All the different veterans. The squares date back to 1761. Set aside by the William Penn family. Here's the post office. This beautiful building was built in 1816. It's the Russell House.
It's in 1825.
It's a big house.
Yeah.
This is built in 1825. 1842. Now, there's no historical marker on this house, but it's got a beautiful garden. Common School, 1859. It's an interesting museum. It's the American Coverlet Museum.
You were looking at the street panels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Circle and square designs. In order to do the ones behind me in the other room, the curvilinear form cannot be woven in this cover. So they need to develop something new. The only thing I would like to call your attention to is that, and I just told these people we are getting ready for a very large exhibition, so this is the last day you can see these, All the ones on the table are getting ready to be hung. Now, we are in this room, and as I mentioned earlier, this is the second chapter. 1800, we get to the point where there are too many people, and the multi-harness shaft loom, what we saw in the other room, is too slow and not productive. The pressure is on, and in 1801, in Lyon, France, it happened. Napoleon was the big shot in France in 1800, and he had a hobby, if you remember. He was at war with everybody, right? The huge difference between the two coverlets is that I always talk about the fact, I ask people, there is your soil analysis. We have clay. You go to Pittsburgh and there are no weavers because all they have is rocks. Okay? But then you cross the Ohio River and you are in Ohio, you have hundreds of weavers. Indiana, hundreds of weavers. All right? Maryland, for example. You come in from Baltimore, there are no weavers. Then you get to Frederick, which is 70 miles in, 50-some miles in the state. Start weavers. Pansies, that's a typical German cover. Now, the one behind you two guys here is from the same weaver. If you look at the coverlet, you see sailboats in the corner, both. So it's the man's trademark. So it's his. The border is identical into the two coverlets, but the field is different. That tells us these because we're going to demonstrate how the old weaving, we always struggle because real coverlet lovers love the early stuff. Every loom does the same thing. This is from Illinois, that's from Maine, that's from Ohio. That's from Somerset, Pennsylvania, this is from Philadelphia, and these are student looms. Now when you're looking at this one, you can see the way the loom is set up. The one thread is rolled up on the warping beam, has string, it's called string heddles. They're all hand-tied, and in every one of them there is an eye knotted in the middle. That one thread goes through the eye. The one thread goes through all of them, but only through one eye, because that's the one that will raise the one thread, right? So they all have different, that's the hot chip, yeah.
Got some very pretty trees here. Just beginning to turn color in fall. Little shopping here. What do you think?
I'd say a lot of shopping.
Okay. This is the courthouse. This is one of the shopping areas. It's called Founders Crossing. And right across the street, another antique store. Plenty of shopping here in Bedford.
Yep, she got them too.
We're here at the K&M Eatery. I have a stacked roast beef for $6.99, and Greg's got a fish sandwich for how much, Greg? He's eating, it must be good.
Fish sandwich is $3.99.
Plus I'm getting a little pony of Rolling Rock. Very reasonable, very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's always around.
Greg and I just did a little wine tasting here at the Oak Spring Winery. Bought a couple of bottles because the wine was all good. Second wine tasting of the day. So if you're interested in wines, Bedford does have the wineries. And there are some lovely wines here at the Briar Valley Vineyard.